If you're spending hours every week combing through meeting notes or customer feedback, then this video is for you because we're going to be showing you how to use AI agents within your Airtable database to do a lot of the categorization and thinking for you, so that you can immediately begin to prioritize the things that actually need your attention in your business. This is going to save you tons of time when you understand how to leverage AI to do the thinking for you. So if that's of interest to you, stick around and let's get into it. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Gareth and this is Gap Consulting. It's my mission to help you unlock the full potential of no-code tools, and Airtable is at the front of what we do day in and day out. It is our top choice for a database in the cloud, as well as workflows and integrations and the front interface layer. It does it all. But in this video, we're going to be highlighting the AI features in Airtable, specifically the agents and how they can do a lot of the thinking for you in your business to help you be more efficient. But before we get into the heart of things, I first want to invite you to join me for a free training. If you're new to Airtable, check out our crash course. It is going to teach you the basic building blocks of Airtable. We're going to go through all the key components so that after the final lesson, you have an understanding of all of the different pieces of Airtable and how they work together. You can sign up for free for that training at gapconsulting.io/Airtable-crash-course. But without further ado, let's hop on into my screen and you'll see that I have a pretty simple setup here. Number one, I've got a customer name. It's not really relevant for what we're doing. Number two, I've got my notes field, and this is where the magic is going to happen. So we've got this notes, and I'm assuming that this is some kind of customer feedback as an example. And so in our notes, we want to understand what's going on. What is this information? And if it is, let's say, negative, should we be making this a priority, or should it be going to someone on a different team? How do we triage this information so that nothing slips through the cracks? We're going to have AI do all the heavy lifting for us. So let's get into that. First, what we're going to do is build an AI agent. This is a field type that you can add in your Airtable database. You can just click on the plus up here. It's a new column, and you can say create a custom agent. Now, I've already created this first one, but I haven't actually run it yet. Here are the core components of an agent and where you need to focus. Number one is the type of agent. This one is set to be long text, but that is not what I want, my friends. I'm going to be making a change here because the idea is this particular agent, I only want it to have one of a few different options. So a single select field is ideal for me. Now, if you've not built a lot in Airtable already, then this won't make a ton of sense. But what we're doing is choosing how we want the agent to output the information. Do we want it to be a long text block and just let the agent write whatever it wants? Do we want to make a single select field where we say you can pick one of a few options, or a multiple select where you can pick more than one of a few options? Number, percent, currency. We can even create images, do a web prototype, a deep match, and even a video. This is currently in AI Labs. So we've got a lot of options before us, but the one that I use almost all the time is the single select. So that's what I'm going to go for here. Now, next we are going to determine, are we checking the internet? And do note that if you do this, it's going to use more credits than it would otherwise. It's going to think harder. It's going to go out and look at the internet. So be sure to turn this on responsibly. And then, are we going to run this automatically or not? Most of my agents, I do choose to run automatically, but for our video here, we're going to start with it being a manual process to run. Next, we choose the model. By default, it's currently GPT 4.1. This is really important, and it's not something to overlook. If you want to use a newer model, you'll have to use 5.2 or 5.1. Of course, that depends on when you're watching this video, because if you watch it in a year, I'm sure they'll be at 8 point something. But we also need to note that there are options beyond just ChatGPT. If you want, you can go to Claude. And I really love Claude, especially for the more complicated outputs. They do not currently have 4.6 available yet, but you can use 4.5 as you see here. We also have access to Meta, as well as some others, including Gemini and Amazon's Nova. So for us, for this particular one, I can stick with the default. It's simple categorization. It's nothing incredibly robust. And the most important thing when you're doing any AI work is the prompt. So here's what we have right now. The custom instructions. This is what the AI is going to analyze. So this was just written for me by AI because I usually ask AI to write my prompt. It's very meta, but we have AI writing the AI prompt. It says, you're an expert in customer experience analysis, skilled at interpreting written feedback. So where we are assigning a role, we're telling it who it is. This is an important part of prompt writing. We're also calling out what their key skills are. Skilled at interpreting written feedback and discerning emotional tone. Assume a neutral and unbiased tone unless the sentiment is clearly expressed. And then here's your description. Read the provided customer feedback, blah, 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 blah. Here are the options. We're giving you positive, negative, or neutral. Capitalize the first letter. So, example, here's an output. Another key to prompting is always using an example. Again, I didn't actually do any of this. The prompt was written for me, and it was written well by AI. Here is the key part. We are giving it information, input for the agent to analyze. And this input is going to be variable depending on the record. It's looking at one or more fields in Airtable. In this case, we've used the notes field. Remember this field right here. We're bringing that field into the prompt and we're saying, hey, this is your input. And so in order to do that, all we need to do is drop our cursor here wherever we want to add the input, say add field, and you'll have access to all of the fields in that Airtable table. And then you can just drop them in here as we've done for notes. And then we've got our output. Now I've changed this one to a single select. So I need to make sure to come down here and add my options as well. I'm going to add in my 3 options of positive, neutral, and negative. And I'll color code them as well. So let's go, we'll make negative a little flashy so that we know. Neutral can be just a relatively neutral color and positive will be green. Let's go with that. So we'll save this up. Cool enough. So that's how to build an agent, but we now have to do the important part and test it. So a couple of options. Number one, we can run the agent. As I said earlier, we're going to start with this not being an automatic thing. So it's analyzing the notes feedback here, provided detailed feedback, and this is now going to give it one of 3 outputs. Here's why I really, really enjoy the drop down or the single select option. You'll notice that it assigned one of the options. It did that correctly, right? I would say that it is correct. This is neutral feedback. In fact, let's run a bunch of them to see if it thinks that anything is negative or positive. Okay, here we've got mentioned issues with the checkout process. That is negative. And here is appreciating something. So positive. Great. Complimented support team. Positive. Love it. So it's doing its job. It was that easy, right? It's coming neutral every time unless there's something clearly negative or positive within the notes field. And that's going to drive it either up or down within the sentiment list, right? But here's what I really love about this. Not only does the AI do its job pretty well, but it also enables us to make a change if we want to override it. And this is true for all of the AI-generated fields. This I find to be very, very valuable because there should always be human interaction with the AI data. Maybe you know something about this Alex Johnson person and you know that there are already issues with Alex Johnson's account. So maybe even though this feedback is coming back neutral and the AI is correct in assessing that, you want to override that? No problem, you can. This is where the AI agents beat out formulas because a formula is only capable of having that specific output. And you as a user cannot override that. This is why agents, AI agents in Airtable are incredibly powerful because they'll do their job, but you can come in behind them and make updates. You can add to it, you can change it, and what they say, what they analyze, it's not written in stone the way a formula is. Now, let's take a look at a different type of agent. This is the action items. So again, we're going to see some of the same options at the beginning. We have to choose the output, in this case, long text. And we choose whether we want to enable internet search, if we're accessing Google Drive, OneDrive, Jira Cloud, and if we want to run automatically. So this stuff here, I shouldn't just skip on over it because it's really valuable. If you have a document in Google Drive that you want this to analyze, you can turn that on. If you have information in OneDrive that you want it to look at, send it to OneDrive. Same with Jira Cloud. There are tons of options here. The agent is capable of running off of data that doesn't necessarily live right here in your database, so long as you can help direct it to one of these other places through an integration. Again, moving on beyond that, we have the model, right? In this case, I'm going to use Claude 4.5 because I'm asking it to come up with action items, and the type that I've chosen is long text. I think Claude does a really good job of giving me more descriptive outputs. So here we're saying, hey, you're a customer service process expert. Your role is to identify and clearly list actionable follow-up tasks. Do note that we're following the same prompt rules. The prompt is everything when it comes to AI, and I strongly recommend that you use AI to write better prompts yourself. But coming on down, we have the same components, the task description, and ultimately we're going to share one or more fields with this as input values. And again, we're looking to our notes field here. We could also add our sentiment. So now that we have another agent that's running our sentiment, let's bring our sentiment in here as well and just include that as more context for this agent when it runs. So this agent will now be dependent upon the previous agent. So only after sentiment runs will this one be able to run, and I'll show you that in a moment. Now we come on down here and you'll see this is a preview of what will come out of it. So we've got the just bullet pointed things here as an output, and that for me looks really good. So let's save this up and notice that on my agents, where I have not already run sentiment, I cannot run this. So this is an important takeaway with Airtable agents. I can only run an agent if I have all of the information required for the agent to run. So in this case, action items, this field is looking at two other fields. It's looking at our notes and it's looking at our sentiment. And so before this gives me the option of running, I need to have information in both of these. As soon as I run this agent and it generates an output, I can now run this agent. And this is true if we're running this automatically as well. If this is run automatically, let's override our existing data. It's going to run outputs for everything that it can. So if you have thousands of different records in your database and you just built an agent and you say, go ahead and run for everything, you better be ready with a bunch of credits in hand in order to let it do its job. But you'll notice that it's creating these action items based on the notes field. Now, these might not be 100% perfect. They do require a human to go in and look at them. And you'll notice that we can ask Omni questions about this. We can request a rewrite, and we can just override this ourselves. Like, let's say I want to get rid of that. I can get rid of it, just delete it. I don't need that action item. It's gone. But the overall agent still did its job. So really powerful things with Airtable agents, and they will help you not only categorize, but also move all of your work forward, provided you write a good prompt and give Airtable the information it needs. I hope you got a ton of value from this video. If you did and you want to see more content like this, please be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Of course, if you have questions that we did not quite answer here, swing by our website because we have put a ton of resources together for you to help answer your Airtable and no-code questions. That's it for this one. Most important thing though, keep on building.